What's up, everybody? And today we're going to be taking a look at the Mafex Carnage. Last Mafex figure I'm taking a look at for a while. So, before we get into the absolutely amazing figure this is, let's take a look at the packaging. So, gonna bring my phone camera up here and just take a look here real quick. Of course, we got that classic Mafex comic style look for the box. This is secondhand, so it's not brand new, just like the Venom was. So I got the nice comic corner box right there, which I honestly might use that for the thumbnail. And towards the bottom here, got the Mafex logo and Carnage and Marvel and Spider-Man logo and whatnot, and an image of the figure. Got a very nice look at the figure from the front. From the side, you got some more looks at the Carnage there. Then from this side, got, Carnage, and then the figure. From the back, bunch of different looks at the figure himself, with the heads and the hands, the accessories and whatnot. At the top, nothing too crazy. Bottom, none too crazy. So, let's get this guy opened up. And of course, here's the figure himself in all of his glory. So, first off, let's take a look at the details. Now, this is a second-hand figure. I got it off Mercari for a good price, along with Venom. They were both in a bundle together. There is going to be some areas that are paint rub, and I'm not going to mention that about the figure itself or the overall quality. That was more than likely from the seller, but overall, it's in good condition. So, and this is the reissue version. As far as I know, I even asked the seller if it was the reissue or not. But just take a look here. All this black you see on him is all sculpt work. It's all sculpted and painted over. It's super nice. Mafex did an amazing job with this figure. Only gripes that I can see so far is, of course, with the knee joints and the elbow joints. The sculpt work is not continued, which kind of sucks. And it only sticks out just a little bit, but not too much, so it's not really that big of a deal. But it has this nice black matte finish. You can see on some areas that the black kind of didn't cover the whole sculpt work a little bit, and it feels a little bit, kind of pushed over a little bit, if you know what I mean. But for the most part, it's pretty clean, and it looks super, super, super nice. And it is at least what I think is somewhat in a symmetrical design with the black portions, which is nice. It is with some parts, like right here and right here, it's a little bit different. But some parts seem to be mirrored, while some are not. You can see a little paint rub there. There's going to be a couple paint rub areas, but it's really nothing major. It is secondhand, so I expected it. But overall, it's sculpted super nice. Love the body and the shade of red that they went with. And it does look pretty nice. Got the Marvel tramp stamp at the back, per usual. But overall, it's a very nicely sculpted Carnage figure. They got the body right, and it just looks really, really, really nice. Absolutely love the amount of paintwork and detail that I've gone into this figure. It is done super perfect and really does invoke that Mark Bagley style of characterization. It is probably one of the single most perfect Carnage figures to ever exist. Now, this Carnage figure does come with a buttload of accessories, and that is no joke. Probably comes with the most accessories that I've seen on a figure in a minute, at least at this scale. So let's talk about those accessories. As far as hands go, right out of the box, you do get these fists, and I would like to also mention that every hand accessory has those sculpted black portions, and that they are also painted as well, so every hand has them. You do get a pair of kind of grippy hands to hold on to some of his accessories, at least one of them. And then you do also get these kind of gesture, kind of pointing slash, I don't really know, like pinching hands. You do also get these kind of like slightly open, kind of relaxed hands. Then, of course, you do get these completely fully open, kind of clawing at you type of hands, or attack type of hands. And, of course, those very open hands have a magnetic variant. The magnetic hands also have magnetic feet to go along with them. I wish I could show them off, but they usually tend to not really work too well for me. So I unfortunately will not be showing how they work. But you pretty much get the idea of how they work. They're magnetic, and you just swap them out. I will show you how to swap out the feet. It is very simple. You just grab the foot, and then just unpeg it like so. And then you just peg on the magnetic foot right there, and it just goes straight in, just like how the regular foot does too as well. Now, as far as heads go, you do, of course, get this head straight out of the box. And it is a pretty darn good looking Bagley Carnage head sculpt. Sculpted very nice with the teeth and everything. And the white portion's done extremely well. And both eyes are actually pretty different from each other. Really invoking the craziness of Carnage himself. And of course, you got the pink in the mouth there too. And the head is sculpted around the entire way and just looks absolutely perfect. Love that head sculpt. Now, as far as the other head goes, you of course get a open mouth head sculpt. Now, this head sculpt is a little bit controversial, and I like it, but at the same time, it could have definitely been better, because what were they thinking? And what I mean by that is, look at that. Yeah. It's all just one piece. It's all printed on, not sculpted. They didn't sculpt it all the way through. I understand why they probably did that, because little teeth and everything, but it just looks strange to me. Just really strange. But it is still really cool. It's just a little bit, kind of strange. I mean, looking at it front on, it's not so bad, but then when you start turning it to the side, it's just really weird. But again, eyes are painted pretty well, and it is sculpted pretty well all the way around. It's a nice looking head. I just wish they would have not done that. And then the last and final head sculpt you do get is, of course, the Cletus Cassidy head sculpt. Now, is it completely accurate to the comics from back in the day? I'm not 100% sure, but it does look good, and I'm perfectly fine with that. It does feel a little bit Joker-ish, because that is just the essence of the character, but it is a nicely done head sculpt. I quite like it. Definitely one of their better looking head sculpts. The Eddie Brock head sculpt wasn't too bad either. But yeah, I mean, I really do like that, and if you can tell a little bit, there is some kind of shadowing and shading, or a type of wash in the hair, and it comes across quite nicely, and it is a very nicely sculpted head sculpt, and you can see it is done absolutely perfect. But probably won't be displaying it with this head, of course. Gotta go with the Carnage heads, but still very nice head sculpt. And of course, we're gonna come back to the normal format here, because there's some things I'm going to show off first. The rest of the accessories that he comes with, because he comes with a lot of weapons, but I'm going to go over some of the more smaller stuff first. Of course, you do get this web line here, which is very, very, very nice, and you can pair it up with one of the hands and whatnot. I will show it through the pose test here, but I don't want to make this video too long, so there's a lot to get through. But I will show how it is put on and everything through the pose test. You'll be able to see this in action, but you do get this web line that is painted up pretty well. And then of course you also do get some tendril pieces, and these are pretty cool. I will show how these go on. So you have the figure here, and these should just kind of slide right onto the forearms, and that's it. You just kind of slide them on if they want to get on through there, and they will just wrap around the arms, so that way you have him with some tendrils on. And it's pretty cool. I do definitely wish that we got some more tendrils, because could have had some, you know, crazy Carnage stuff going on, and it would have been pretty cool. But I am perfectly fine with this. I think it is still pretty cool, but definitely could have been a little bit more. Now, you can't have a Carnage figure without any weapons, and Mafex knew this and gave us a whole crap load of weapons. So what we have here is we have two kind of fisted hands, but they have these like Wolverine almost type of claws that come out, which are pretty cool, and I will show you how those look on him. At least one of them right now will show how they do all look, but you'll see more of these in the actual post-test section. So there he is with the claws on, and they look absolutely perfect. And of course, you can enhance the weapons with the symbiote tendril attachments if you wish, but he does come with those. And then, of course, you do get two of these kind of, again, fisted hands, but with these kind of like spears kind of coming out, which are pretty cool. So we'll show you what one of the spears looks like on him. It's just putting that on. There he is with one of the kind of symbiote spears, which is kind of crazy looking. It's pretty cool. But next, he does come with these two kind of open hands that also connect into a spear as well. You know, pretty much the same concept here with the whole hand spear thing. This one wants to go in. Hold on, I'm gonna do this a little bit off camera because I do not want him to break. That would really suck if I just broke my finger, my figure right on camera. That would just like really suck. But there we go. There he is with the kind of spear hand there. Looks pretty cool. I probably won't be using those though, because he does come with this hammer hand, which is pretty cool. So it's a fist, but it turns into a hammer. I believe he did use this in one of the comic panels before. So this is pretty cool to get this kind of weapon here. And that one goes in very nicely. So you got the hammer hand. More of a Sandman kind of thing, but it's still pretty cool that they did include that. And I'm pretty sure it is straight from one of the comic pages. But you can absolutely not have a Carnage figure without the axe hand, and they did a bang up beautiful job with the axe hand, and it is super nice. This is what I'm going to be posing him with on the shelf, because I love when Carnage has the axe hand. It's just such a cool weapon that he uses. And then how that kind of looks on him. It's actually designated for the right arm. So the axe hand is for the right arm, which is fine because I use the right arm mostly. And the hammer hand is for the left arm. They're the only two weapon hands, or, you know, out of the weapons that he does have, that are specific to, you know, a specific arm. So taking that out and placing the axe hand in, that is how he looks with the axe hand, and it is so nice. This thing is sick. I absolutely love the axe hand so much. But yeah, that is pretty much it for all of his, you know, accessories and whatnot. So he does come with quite a bit, and quite a bit of really good accessories. My only complaint being, wish we had some more tendrils, but that's about it. But yeah, lots of accessories. So aside from just looking cool and having an absolute buttload of accessories, too many to count, how well does this symbiote articulate? So getting absolutely just straight into articulation, I feel like I've said absolutely quite a lot. I should probably expand my vocabulary. Kind of hard though, since I'm autistic. But anyway, articulation. As far as the head goes, can go down about that far, up pretty much about that far. Has some pretty good side to side all the way around. Can spin the head a full 360. and there is also a ball joint at the base of the neck. As far as the arms, he has butterfly joints to go forward about that far, back about that far, yeah, about that far, and okay, there we go. Now it wants to move a little bit further. So decent range there. The arm can go up all the way, pretty much. Full 360 rotation. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. If you're familiar with SH Figuarts type of articulation, you'll be familiar with this. He has a diaphragm at the top right here and at the waist. He can crunch forward about that far, crunch back pretty much all the way. There's some very good side to side, like crazy good side to side with him. You can use it also as a waist swivel, and of course the top too as well. Then here at the legs, they are on a drop down, so they can kick up about that far, and they can kick back about, not so much. He can split pretty well. And then as far as the thighs go, there's a bit of a swivel, nothing really crazy. Double jointed knees. Then the feet can go up about that far, down about that far, and then he does have ankle pivot, and he does have toe joints, but they're kind of useless, but they're there. At least they're useless in my opinion, because I can't really pose them in any crazy way. But that is pretty much it for the articulation. He's pretty well articulated. You can get him in a lot of different poses, a lot of cool poses, and a lot of comic poses for sure, which I cannot wait to get into, so let's go to a pose test. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little pose test, and for a little bit of a kind of a quiz or trivia kind of thing, the music that I used for the pose test, if you are of the older age, you'll probably recognize what the theme is. Go ahead and put down in the comments if you guys recognize the theme. Yeah, so anyway, let's get started on the scale, and then we'll move into the final thoughts. So, starting off here, we have Carnage right front and center. Amazing figure. And to start off with, here he is next to an official Mafex Venom. So you can see how they look next to each other. I'll move them a little bit more closer to the middle of the frame here. So you can see how they look next to each other, and they look absolutely perfect. Now, Carnage may feel a little tall, but you know, definitely doesn't have the beefiness of Venom, and I'm pretty sure this is accurate to how the original 90s comics were. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. These guys look absolutely amazing together. Love these figures. Next up, here he is next to the CT Toys Spidey. Here, the vaguely 90s style Spidey, if he wants to stand. And yeah, the CT Toys is a bit on the small side, but to be honest, I think it's kind of fine. It works, at least for me. Especially when they're going to be posed up, they'll be on the, you know, like posed up on the shelf, they'll be fine. But yeah, here are all three of them together, and they look very, very good together. Because I always think of Venom being bigger than Spidey, and Carnage kind of maybe being around the same height. I do kind of wish maybe CT Toys, maybe just, it was a little bit bigger. I just kind of wish it was a little bit bigger. But, yeah. Taking this Spidey out, though. Here he is next to, of course, my CT Toys Mafex Scarlet Spider, which this is the height that I wish Spidey was actually at. Because Spider-Man here is the shortest out of the bunch. Which is just a bit strange. Maybe I should have definitely got that comic style Mafex official Spidey, but yeah, these guys look absolutely nice together, and I think they just look really, really, really cool. So taking out all of the Mafex style figures, and we'll put Carnage up next to some Marvel Legends and some Diamond Select. So starting off with, we'll just do the Spider-Man variants first. Here he is next to my custom Ultimate Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure, which is, you know, pretty much a Bagley style Spidey. If he wants to stand, that would be great, right? Wouldn't it be great if your Spider-Man figure could stand on his own? That's as best I'm going to get him. But there he is next to Ultimate Spider-Man. And then, of course, we got to bring in another Spider-Man, but this time from the 90s, since, you know, it is the 90s era for this specific version of Carnage. So here's the 90s animated Spider-Man here. That's how he looks next to pretty much a traditional 6-inch Marvel Legends figure. And then as for another comparison, here he is next to my custom Marvel Legends Bagley style Venom. And yeah, this honestly kind of works. You could definitely have these two guys together on the shelf and it would be pretty good. At least in my opinion. But there he looks next to my custom Bagley Venom. And then we will move on to the Carnage comparisons. So, starting off with, of course we got to bring in a straight up Bagley style Carnage here. And it is my old custom. Definitely gonna be fixed up to be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more cleaned up, but it is a very old custom. But there he is next to his Marvel Legends counterpart. Now there's things that the Marvel Legends does that I like a lot better than the Mafex does, and I'll get to that in the final thoughts. But yeah, they look pretty good together. And then moving along, here he is next to another Bagley style Carnage, that being the Ultimate Carnage. And as you can see, that's how they pretty much look next to each other. And then again, keeping with the the time period here, of course we got to bring back the 90s again. So here he is next to the Marvel Legends 90s style Carnage from the animated series that I customized and did up and made to look a little bit more accurate. But that's pretty much them together, and they look absolutely they look nice together. And then lastly is the Diamond Select figures. So here is the Diamond Select Ultimate Carnage. Very old figure, but it is that Bagley style that we all know and love, with Ultimate Carnage there. So that's how he looks next to the Bagley Diamond Select Ultimate Carnage. And now for a Diamond Select Carnage figure that you guys probably have seen a lot of. At least, you know, when you search up Carnage figure, because this figure has been bootlegged to all hell. But this is my personal copy of an official one that actually isn't bootlegged. But here it is, of course, the Diamond Select. If he wants to stand, my God. I don't know why my figures just don't want to stand. And, oh no, of course the expensive figure is the one that has to fall. Alright. There we go. Okay. This is one of the issues. I know a tendril just flew over there. We're not going to bother with that. But as you can see, this... oh, I caught you. As you can see, though, this Diamond Select Bagley Carnage is a bit on the kind of taller side. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for scale. We're going to stop knocking figures around. That is just one of the many problems with, doing reviews on your bed. Because unfortunately, I don't have a desk. Working on making a better setup sometime in the future. But that's pretty much it for the scale of this Mafex Carnage. So let's get into the final thoughts. So as for the final thoughts on this Mafex Carnage figure, it's peak. It is the best Carnage figure out on the market. At least in my opinion, it perfectly encapsulates the look of the Bagley 90s era of Carnage in the comics, which was the origin of Carnage, his creation. The only thing I can really say is maybe the open mouth head is just kind of mid. I don't like how they did it with the mouth, but the unmasked head looks absolutely fantastic. Will I display it with the unmasked head? Probably not, but it's still cool to have it. This figure looks really great posed up with some of the other Mafex figures. Overall, it just is a perfect Carnage figure. You just get a buttload of accessories. You get these pincer kind of open hand things. You of course get the these kind of like just stick like blade kind of things that you get from him, which are pretty cool. You get these tendril pieces. You of course get the axe. You get the hammer. You get claws and everything. It is a crazy looking Carnage figure, and this is what I think when I think of a really great Carnage figure, is a bunch of weapons, some tendrils, a couple of different heads, and yeah, it is just a perfect Carnage figure. I absolutely love this thing. Now, I wish they would have given him more tendrils to kind of put around his body. I mean, you're already paying a premium for this figure. In general, I don't think it would hurt that much if they just added some, more tendrils, maybe. Definitely would have been nice. Of course, the magnetic hands and feet are a pain in the ass to get to even try to work, so I don't even bother with them. So they could have removed those and maybe put in some tendrils. But other than that, he poses amazing. He's very nice and fluid. The sculpt work is absolutely fantastic. The paint work is fantastic. It is a beautiful looking figure. The perfect. But with that being said, this is pretty much the end of the video. So make sure you guys follow my socials, my Insta, and my TikTok for all my action figure related posts and, anything new that comes up. That is pretty much it for, this review. Absolutely love this figure. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video.